Hello, everybody. Flowforge here. I'm running a little bit short on time today, so no talking head, and I'm going to try and do this all in one cut so there's no need to edit it. So let's just hop right into it. Today, I want to talk about designing things and how you need to slow down in order to speed up. So many of you aren't really at the point where you're even doing much. And so for you, you you need to speed up and you need to do more in a lot of ways. But at the same time, you still have something fundamentally going on in your head where you're trying to do it too fast. And you need to just accept how gruelingly long this process is going to take. But we're going to make it so it's not grueling. Okay? So that's kind of the what I want to talk about today is how productivity is not just about sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. That's obviously a huge part of it. Like, you have to sacrifice all the things that you want to do so that you can actually focus on one of them. And then you have to optimize even more out of your life. You know, you have to make your personal life simple and easy. You have to, and there's a lot of videos about how being a multi-potential, multi-passionate can work for you, and I'm going to get into that because it's true. Because when you make these sacrifices, I guarantee there's still a lot left, right? Like, there is still a lot left where it's like, but Flowforge, I have to do this every single day. But Flowforge, I have to do this. I have to do this, right? And you're right. Like, there's still just a lot to do, even after you sacrifice all these things. And you still have to live life in a way that's going to create quality. Because if you don't, what's the point of living? Like, seriously, if you're just working all the time, uh, there's no point, right? So you need to overcome this because you cannot live a fulfilling life. And this is, if productivity is about meeting goals, then you should have a goal of living a fulfilling life. And I propose to you today that there is a way to live a fulfilling life right now and get a lot of work done right now instead of sacrificing everything for your future. And it's simply called patience. That's it. That's the system. That's the secret. You just have to be incredibly patient. And, you may have this idea in your mind of like, oh, I want to grind. Oh, I want to, get it all done. I want to do something amazing and spectacular in my life. And that's great. That's cool. Put that energy at the start of your workflow and at the end of your workflow. Celebrate that you won. I watch a video, Blue Lock had it, honestly, at the end of my workflow, and I watch another type of video to get started, right? And this is good for ADHD because this feeds the need for dopamine. And so you get dopamine for starting, you get dopamine for finishing. This is going to create basically an addiction to your work, which is good. That's fine, right? It's healthy as long as you're not overworking yourself, which, if you get seriously addicted, you'll get burned out. So don't do that. But you need to have patience. And likely, we typically fall into two camps because, again, it's like with ADHD, you either choose the upward spiral or the downward spiral every day. It's like everything with ADHD is extreme. It's binary, right? So it's very hard to find balance. Balance is kind of fake anyways. It's like if you're trying to do two things in equal parts, you're just dividing your resources in half, so it's not really real. What is real is rhythm and pulse, doing things in the time that you just know that you should be working on them. But this whole, give me a second, I'm refreshing here. you guys are just going to get a really long pause. Sorry, I don't have time to edit today. But let's see. But you need to slow down, and the reason you need to slow down is like internally you have this idea that you're gonna go far and you're gonna do it, but getting there, getting to success is like, it's like driving a boat. That's the way I'd put it. Is like you start the engine, and then you start moving, and then you're basically just sitting there doing a bunch of boring stuff the entire time. Like you're just sitting there and making like slight course corrections all the time, and it's boring. And that's it. That's literally it. Like you start the journey and then you just move along the journey. Some interesting things might happen along the way, like something breaks, but it's really is just a lot of troubleshooting and cutting things out to make things even more simple. But you cannot sacrifice having a fulfilling life. You cannot sacrifice everything. You cannot sacrifice your health. You cannot sacrifice certain things. And so it just takes a long time. It just takes a really long time. And that's the truth. And until you accept that, you're always going to be disappointed. And if you're disappointed, you're going to stop working because you're going to feel bad. So that's my message today. I'm trying to keep this short because, like I said, I got to get going here. But slow down and take on the identity of somebody who's building their life piece by piece, skill by skill, workflow by workflow, system by system. Remember that all of the money is in the systems because systems are like assets. They compound your ability to get more done. So this is power. You can think of them as assets. So working on your systems is arguably more important than actually executing sometimes. But then at the same time, you need to execute. So if you're not executing, don't let resistance tell you need to make a system. Sometimes you just need to get moving. Okay? And you're going to have to find the balance between these. You're going to have to like bounce back and forth between which one you're doing at any given time. And then you slowly create this workflow by just taking action towards your goal. Even if it's not necessarily always the right action, you just need to take action consistently, and then you'll be able to collect data. And then as you collect data, you'll be able to make better systems, and you'll know yourself better, and you'll learn about yourself, and you'll do good. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with one framework that actually helps you move a little slower and get more done. Okay? So if you have a lot to do in a day, well, I'm going to give you two. So one of them is just picking certain days to do certain things. And you can even cut the day in half, where it's like half the day I'm going to do this, and half the day I'm going to do this. For me, Sunday is my computer day. I only work on computers on Sunday. And it's a general rule. It's a default, right? So it's something that you just return to if you don't know what you're doing. So on Sunday, I might clean for like the whole day. But then if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to work on computers, right? But so that's the first system. And then the second one is just for every individual day that you have a lot to do, the 2-hour rule. And the 2-hour rule is just, you want to have 4 hours of deep work minimal every day, ideally, right? That's minimal. Like you can go up to 8, but and the whole skill of productivity is how long you can focus on your needle mover. Well, not the entire skill. That's what I'm talking about today. That's not everything. So this is really important. How long can you focus on your needle mover? How much input can you put into your needle mover? But with all the other side tasks, there's a lot. So if you just focus on everything for 2 hours every day, focus on cleaning for 2 hours, focus on this project for 2 hours, focus on studying this for 2 hours, you'll be pretty good. That's good enough, right? And if by the end of the day, you've worked 8 hours, and when I say 8 hours, this is like deep work, like 8 hours is like the max amount of deep work you can do every day. And realistically, it's more like 7. but with breaks and everything. But that's basically how much you can do. So as far as the 2 hours though, this will, okay, so what I was meaning to say is that if you do 8 hours, you still have other things in the day you have to do, right? So an 8-hour day is kind of a day that you've sacrificed everything, and then you might be able to quickly do like a few things here and there. But for most days, you don't get to sacrifice everything. 8 hours is more like you have somebody who does your laundry for you, and you're buying somebody a maid who like cleans your house for you and things like that. Like this is more of a advanced level of productivity, and you have to work your way up to it. So 2 hours for every task that you need to do, for every project you need to focus on, is pretty good. All right. So that's the framework. I hope that helps you guys. Sorry, today's video isn't as professional as it could be. I just need to upload and keep moving today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay blessed. Peace.